Defend Education Birmingham has called for a march on the Aston Webb for all students to fight for a more democratic and equal university.
On Wednesday night, a group of protesters, including members of the Defend Education group, took occupation of the Senate chamber in the Aston Webb building. I spoke to one of the named protesters, Simon Furse, who attended a civil court hearing on Monday morning and is faced with possible charges of up to tens of thousands of pounds in legal costs.
So the occupation has been going since Wednesday night. It's really successful. It's the longest occupation that I know of in Birmingham, certainly in about the last 10 years. I suspect you would have to go back probably to the 80s or early 90s to find an occupation in Birmingham that's gone on as long as this.
The Defend Education group is demanding greater university democracy, fairer wages for university staff, and opposition to calls for tuition fees to be increased to £16,000.
Tell us why we have to pay! Tell us why we have to pay! We say fight back!
The overall theme of the occupation, I guess, is around basically more power for students and staff in university decision making. It's kind of challenging the absolute power which is currently held in the university by a vice-chancellor.
On Monday, a protest was called by the group and many students joined the march to show their support for the occupation. In a statement, the University of Birmingham says, "Universities are places of free speech and we respect the rights of students and staff to protest peacefully and within the law. It is regrettable, therefore, that contrary to their claims, the actions of this tiny, unrepresentative minority has diverted resources, potentially diminishing both the safety and learning experience of our 28,000 other students." On Monday, a High Court judge awarded possession and an injunction specifically preventing further occupation of the campus and its buildings by those involved for a period of 12 months.
2 years ago, they got a similar injunction. It was condemned by Amnesty International and Liberty as showing contempt for human rights. And yet the university haven't, changed course. In fact, they've gone even further and named 2 students on the occupation and are trying to fine them up to £25,000 each, basically. So the university, said up to a maximum of £25,000 per defendant. That's what they are sort of seeking from the court in terms of legal fees.
In response to the injunction, students have agreed to stay inside the occupation past the time the injunction becomes valid and for the foreseeable future. They have reiterated that they plan to continue with protests until the university management take the demands seriously.
I think by creating protests like this, we are sort of creating that second form of democracy, basically.
Students have turned out in force to support those on the protest and also those in occupation.
This is Alice Key, reporting for Guild Television.